Yeah.
17 seconds.
Yep, we are live. Hi, everyone. Happy Saturday. Yeah, I'm going to pull the chat on my phone.
Ah, there's Natalie. There's expanding the process. Hey. Sorry, a bit late. We were having problems. Technical.
Yeah, I'm going to pull the chat on my phone.
Ah, there's Natalie. There's expanding the process. Hey. Sorry, a bit late. We were having problems. Technical.
Yes.
Ah, there's Natalie. Oh, hang on, because I'm getting.
I think that you need to mute your YouTube.
Hang on.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I don't.
Because there's a little bit of an echo.
Yeah. Okay. How's that? Hang on. Yeah, I do. Let's see if we're good now. Are we good now? Hello, Gary Baxter. Hello, Moon Journey. Hello, Sarah.
Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna have to use my headphones. I can't hear you guys. Hold on. Or
you can't hear me? I can turn me up a bit. I can hear you fine. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes. Okay, I think I was the one echoing with my speaker, so I can't figure it out right now. I'm just gonna have to turn it off and use my headphones.
Okay. Your mic is working though, because I can hear you touching it and it going boom, 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 boom. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah. So hello, people. Lovely to see you. Sorry we're late.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Expanding the process, Joe, Renee, thank you for being here. So I'm very, 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 very excited to have this awesome guest with me in my channel. It's an honor to have you, Julie. So welcome to the Raven Wolf channel.
Thank you for having me. Let's bring me down. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to being here, and thank you for welcoming me, and thank you and hello to all of your subscribers who might not be mine, and any of my subscribers that want to subscribe to Raven Wolf channel. Lovely, beautiful channel. Go and check it out. And any of your guys that haven't subscribed to mine, come and check me out. All the links are in the description below for both of us. So we're going to be talking tonight about crystals, aren't we? And all things spiritual.
Yes. Hold on, I'm still trying to set up my whole screen. Okay, I got it. Got it good. I discovered the crystals like a year ago when I started with my spiritual awakening and working on my journey in this path. So as soon as I find out about crystals, like I really resonated with them.
Right.
And I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe I had some kind of, I worked with crystals in some past lives or something, but there's something, I feel an attachment to them. I don't know if that sounds a little weird.
Yeah. Okay. So let me first of all do a bit of a disclaimer. I am not a crystal therapist and I'm not a crystal expert. There are actually courses that you can go on and you can become an accredited crystal healer. So I'm a Reiki master and I use crystals, and I've been using crystals for about 25 years. So I know a fair bit about them, but I'm not accredited and I'm not an expert. So I can only teach you what I know. Right. But there are some wonderful people. I've had crystal healing from crystal experts, and oh my God, it's amazing. I've had all sorts. Hi, Sue. I've had all sorts of healing in my time, but the crystal healing, and they put the different crystals on your chakras and on the different parts of your body. It's really intense. Wow. Yeah, when we connect with crystals, and you found this resonance to them, but everybody does. I'm just going to get rid of this another way. When they become spiritually conscious, you become aware of energy. We become aware of each other's energy. We become aware of insight and vibration and tension and joy and all of these different things. And when we walk in a forest, when we become more and more aligned, we can become aware of the energy of the trees, the energy of the water. We're becoming more one with everything. Now, crystals are extremely old, like thousands and thousands, some of them millions of years old. You can actually make crystals in a lab, like in a week, but these don't have like the proper energy. Okay, so when you're digging a crystal out of a rock that's been there for, say, 100,000 years, it's absorbed so much of history and energy and vibration. And it's part of the pure natural earth. And so they're very powerful. And the different crystals align to different energies and vibrations. Now, crystals kind of link in with color therapy as well. Okay, now if you don't know anything about color therapy, but the two go together. Color has its own vibration. So red has a different vibration from yellow or from white. They all have a different vibration. And that's science. You put colors under a microscope and you'll see they have a different resonance. They have a different vibration. So crystals have got different colors, and the colors align with our chakras. And so if we've got a problem with our heart chakra, which is green and pink, then we could pick up a green crystal like this, which is extremely powerful. It's got green, it's got all sorts of beautiful purples through it. This is, oh God, what is this called? I can't remember. I've got another green crystal that's that. No, it's not the same as that, because it's got this. There's another smaller one here, but it has to have this purpley stuff through it. I can't think what it's called at the moment, because I haven't really sort of taught crystals for years, and I can't think what it's called. But what I use is this.
Oh, that's perfect.
Right, the Crystal Bible. And for any of you who are interested, the link is in my description below. It's about 10 or 12 quid. It's not expensive, but you've got something similar, yeah? What have you got?
Yes. I got the Encyclopedia of Crystals by Judy Hall.
Yeah, this is Judy Hall as well.
Yeah.
So Judy Hall is the expert.
I love it.
So hi, Becky. Hi, Expanding the Process. Hi, Sandy.
I have another one from her too, but this is more like the newer crystals that are just discovering now.
Yeah, but, that's the newer one.
I want to stop you right there for a minute, because it's so funny that you were mentioning about working with crystals and stuff, because I had this well, I was told before that I should be working with crystals, but I was just told that, and I don't know how to work with crystals. Like, I work with crystals for me, but I don't know how to actually work with crystals for people. So by you talking about the color therapy, and that there's classes that you can take, and that you can do the healing and stuff with them, to me, I mean, it's amazing that you brought that point without even talking about it before. So
if you're drawn to crystals, which many people are, I mean, I know lots of things about lots of bits, like a bit of color, a bit of this, a bit of that, but the other. My expertise is in hypnotherapy and healing. You will be drawn to what feels right for you. And if you're drawn to crystals, and you clearly are, I can see them all behind you on the table, and it looks wonderful. I've got crystals all behind me, they're all around me. I've brought quite a few of them onto the table in front of me. This is a dish I've had now for maybe 20 years. It's an angel dish, and it's filled with different crystals, and I just kind of go for the ones that I feel I need. Lots of that would be for, because it's a yellowy gold color, that's going to be for the sacral or the solar plexus. You're going to align the different crystals with the different parts of the body. But we need to charge them, we need to cleanse them, we need to be in alignment with them. Hi, Milky Way Weekly.
Hi, Sandra. Hi, Bill, Becky, everyone, welcome. Sandra is asking, what does Judy Hall says about, I cannot even say that, Herkimer diamond crystal? Herkimer? I can look for it, but I wrote it down so I can get back to you, Sandra, if I can find it.
So basically what we do, we look at the crystals that we're drawn to at the time, and there is a purpose in it. Okay, so I've got different color crystals that align with every different part of the body, and I did collect about 2010, I guess, crystal spheres, which are your crystal balls, one in every color for the different chakras. And I put them in a circle on a table with my channeling crystal in the middle, which is, that's clear quartz. Now, a channeling crystal is when you've got it coming pointed, try and show the camera, it's coming pointed to the top with these different angles. What this does when you're holding this and you're pointing it upwards, you're channeling the energy through it. It's very powerful for channeling, literally. So when I did the meditation the other night and I was channeling the information, first of all, from my higher self, and then I was channeling it from those beings of light, that's the sort of crystal that will help me connect to that channeling. Yeah. And another one that's really good for connection is this. Now, this is a Lemurian quartz. It's the most powerful crystal quartz that you can have. If I compare that with this one, let me show you this one. Okay. So this is a very lovely crystal ball, but look at the difference in the size.
Yeah.
This one, this little one, cost more than the big one. Yeah. Because this is Lemurian quartz and it's a far higher vibration, but this is beautiful. And you see some people, I've seen them on Facebook doing readings, crystal ball readings, and it's glass. It's not a crystal, it's glass. This is crystal.
I want to show you you're going to laugh at my Lemurian crystal.
Beautiful. Though, no, it's beautiful.
Tiny.
Tiny, yeah. I mean, something like this that's very small. You know, this cost me 8 years ago about £200, which is about $300. And that was about 200. But the way to tell a good crystal, do you know if it's good quality or not? Okay, so if we use this ball, because it's a lovely example, the Lemurian crystal, let me get it in front of the camera. Where am I? Right. Is clear all the way around. Let me get my fingers out of the way. You can see through it all the way around. Okay, you see into it. There's no cloudiness. It's pure. It's beautiful. Whereas if this crystal ball, see, the one side is quite smoky, the other side is clear. Yeah, so half of it is good quality, the other half isn't, because do you see the way that it's sort of clearer one side than the other?
Yeah, it's cloudy.
So, a good crystal isn't cloudy. So the more you pay, the clearer the crystal should be and the truer the color. So, for example, I've had this now for about 15 years. It's a little tree, little amethyst, but look how faded it is now. You know, an amethyst that's very strong, right? Like that's better. It's darker. Yeah. That's good. But something that is like that one, that is better because it's darker. Okay, so and they bleach in the sunlight. Okay, so you can charge them by putting them on the windowsill and having the sun onto them to charge them, but actually you don't want to leave them in the sun because they fade. This one sits on the windowsill and it's faded. It used to look like that. Okay?
Oh really?
But
I don't like to charge mine on the sunlight, actually. I only charge them with the moonlight. That's right. Because that's the safest way, I find out that.
Well, moonlight really should only be charging moonstone, which is to be charged in the moon. The other crystals should either be charged in sunlight or water. And the best way to charge them is the beach and the sun. But you literally leave them out there for an hour or two in the sun and then get them in the shade. They'd be all right with that. Yeah. But, you know, it's always been my windowsills that have had my crystals and they have faded.
Yeah, I don't know, they make me scared because I know that some crystals would fade or some crystals will dissolve with water. And they're like my babies. So I only charge them at the moonlight, but maybe I should try just a little bit at the time and see how, you know, they all react to.
I've always washed mine, and I wash them in the sink with with fairy liquid, and I just wash them in my hands and get all the dust and the grime off them. Then I run them under the tap, a warm tap, and then I put them on kitchen roll. And then I put them on a tray outside in the sun to get an hour or two sun. But because our sun's so pathetic in the UK, it's usually out there about 7 or 8 hours because we have, 10 minutes sun and 3 minute cloud and 10 minutes sun and three hours cloud. And then I bring them back in again. And my moonstone I charge on the windowsill in the moon. But you can also charge them in the earth. All right. So literally in your garden. Dig a hole, put them in a bag and put them in the earth and the earth will charge them.
That's awesome.
So,
hi, Melissa. Hi, Deborah.
Who else have we got? Great information on quality of crystals. Julie, thank you very much. You're very welcome. I'm always drawn to stones and never thought about it until recently. Looked into lapidary and wow, lol, found my new calling. There's all sorts. I mean, if you get any of these books,
Yes.
there's basically, they sort of show you, right? They'll show you a picture of the crystal and then they'll tell you what it does and tell you all about it. And there's different descriptions, and there are some that are semi-precious stones and there are some that are crystal stones. But something like this, I found this in 2000, well, she found me, this angel. It's pure, she's about 6-7 inches tall. This is solid smoky quartz.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, this is how crystals work. I'm walking in the shop, the cave shop in Royston, where I used to live. It's a crystal shop and different spiritual things in there. And I saw her in the cabinet and I just was transfixed looking at this thing. And at the time, at the time I'd just broken up with a boyfriend that I was besotted with, but it clearly was going nowhere, so I'd ended it. But I was really quite heartbroken. And I was watching her and I couldn't take my eyes off her, but she was very expensive. So I went home. And all night, my higher self was saying, you have to go and get that angel. So off I went the next day, spoke to the woman in the shop, agreed to pay her 3 payments because I couldn't afford it all in one go. And she knew me and she trusted me. So she let me take it anyway on the first payment. I took it home.
That's very nice.
Yes, and I looked it up in the Crystal Bible, what is smoky quartz, and it's for strength when we feel vulnerable. It's to help us get back into our power, to boost our inner power, our confidence, our sense of self. I hadn't stopped crying for about a week, and within a couple of days of this, I was like, yeah, stuff you're out of here. It really helped me get back to me. And so, I absolutely rate crystals, but the different ones to be drawn to. I've got lots of I can't remember what half these are called. I used to know all their names.
Yeah, I try to know all the ones that I have, but it's getting to the point that I just don't know. So whenever I feel drawn to them, I have to actually look to see what it is. And then I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have so much of it. I mean, lapis lazuli is the deep
that's
purple.
My favorite.
Yeah. This is for the third eye. So if we're struggling to open the third eye, you can hold a piece of lapis. It's not that expensive lapis. I used to have a great big chunk of it. That's lovely. That's a really nice quality lapis. And if you are meditating and you're trying to open your third eye, Julie or Marty have been malachite. You saw in our session, malachite's lovely as well. Sandra's saying she charges in both. Okay, a cleanse in Himalayan salt and pH balanced water. Yeah, that's good for them. But you can also use your intention. So your intention is everything. Don't forget, this is your source energy. So when I'm cleansed, like when I broke this was beautiful. It was quite a lot bigger. And see the top?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I have a stone tiled floor here, and it fell off the windowsill when I was cleaning the window, and it smashed the bottom, and the top's gone. And I thought, well, the energy's broken now. I should throw it out, and I couldn't. So I just gave it healing and told it that it's broken, but I still love it, and it's still with me. But these are different types of crystals. This is more of a mineral crystal. This is a crystal. So I'm not sure what this is called. I used to know. But again, this is why I like the Crystal Bible, because I can look it up, find the picture. Why is that, Julie? Why is that what? Hugs for Julie. Thank you, Heath and Breathe of Fire. Welcome. Why is what? And go on.
You know what? I didn't know that certain crystals also are aligned with certain zodiac signs.
Right. Yes. Yeah, they are.
I did not know that. And you were talking about when the first time I went to a crystal shop, I felt kind of overwhelmed because it was like a toy store. Like I want all of them. But the lady, the way she told me, she's like, just pass next to them and whatever you feel drawn to, pick that one and see how you feel, So if you guys, I mean, I'm sure most of the people that are watching this, I'm sure they're familiar with crystals and stuff, but I will recommend that. If you've never been to a crystal store and you're interested in purchasing, go ahead and go inside and like take a look and see what you're drawn to, what crystal is pulling you, reeling you in.
And you'll also get different prices. I mean, over here, we do have some nice crystal stores and shops, but mainly in the UK, the way people work it is we have these mind, body, spirit fairs, you know, like psychic fairs in town halls and village halls and stuff like that. And there'll be people doing readings and people doing healing, and there'll be lots of crystal stalls. And the prices vary significantly. You can go to one stall and they're really expensive, and they'll say to you, yes, but they're very good quality, my crystals. Yes, and I know a good quality crystal, and I look at it and go, no, this is cheap tap, and I'm not interested. They're trying it on. So just because they're in a so-called spiritual stall, don't necessarily trust that they are genuinely, you know, I don't know, genuinely right. This one that I held up, Sandra, I can't remember what it's called. Let me put the light behind it. But when I was given this for a birthday, I think, probably 2010 or 11, from one of the ladies that came to my circle was a crystal healer and a Reiki master. And she used to sell crystals. And she gave me this, I think, for my birthday. And she also gave me this one when I left the area as a goodbye present, which is why I'm sad that it broke. Now I can't get him back in.
I know that you work with angels. So there's the angelite is, I forgot what's it called. The crystal.
Right, yeah.
I think that's what it's called, right? Angelite?
Yeah.
Do you work... have you worked with a crystal that resonates with angels, or you know?
The one I use for my resonation of angels is my smoky quartz that's in the shape of an angel. But what's on my desk all of the time, because normally this lot isn't on my desk,
right?
But these two are. All right, so this is what I use. These are connecting crystals. They're clear quartz. The thing is with clear quartz, it allows everything to come through, because if you take white light and split it, it's got all 7 colors. Okay, so basically all the different energies are into here, I feel, and that's my intention, that's all I need. But I've used crystals when my daughter, who's now 20, when she was about 4 or 5 or 6, she used to have quite a lot of nightmares, as young children do, wake up screaming, very distressed. Rose quartz and amethyst are very good, right? Rose quartz is for love, if we're feeling a lack of love, and amethyst is an anti-negativity color, anti-fear, anti-panic. So I used to have, and I kid you, like huge chunks, like huge crystal balls. They were all over the house.
That's awesome.
I gave them away. I've given most of them away to friends who, you know, I don't need them anymore. I don't know, I've aligned, and I needed them for about 10 years. But anyway, going back to my daughter, I put a piece of amethyst, a huge piece, under her bed, on the floor, underneath the bed, right under her head. And then I put a smooth rose quartz, not like this. Let me see if I can't find one at the moment, but a smooth piece of rose quartz under her pillow. And the nightmare stopped like that.
Amazing.
That's amazing. Because the intention is that the rose quartz is bringing her into a place of love, and the amethyst is neutralizing her fear, and she slept beautifully. That's you know amazing. And then she started wanting crystals. Her house, she's got her own house now, she's 20, and she's got crystals everywhere. So have both my sons. So
that's awesome. Expanding the process is asking, what's a good source for buying genuine crystals? Does anyone know or have a good source?
Okay. I have bought crystals from eBay and from Amazon, but I tune into them as to whether they're genuine. I also look at where they're coming from. So there are certain places that I used to know, which I can't remember anymore, that are very good for particular crystals. So I think there's a particular country for, like, Himalayas should be your rock salts, and I think it's Peru and Argentina for certain crystals. So you're looking at where they're coming from and whether they're being overmined. You look at the color and the quantity, and you look at the price, and you feel it. And if you've got something locally, like I live in Cornwall, and actually anywhere in the UK, there are mind, body, spirit fairs at least once a month, and there will be many crystal halls. You know, you might have to travel 50 or 60 miles, but there will be one. And you go to those, and that way you can look at them and feel them, especially as we're going to the summer now. I mean, there's a fair on this weekend, but 60 miles away from me, and there'll be another one 60 miles up the road from me. So these are the places to go and get them that are very good, and crystal shops.
Yes. I was going to ask you, do you have a certain, well, I know you use a lot of your clear quartz, and before I forget, I was going to say, I know clear quartz enhances the I don't want to say the power or
spiritual connection and your own connection to your own soul source, higher self. Yeah, it makes you a stronger psychic.
When I use, because my favorite crystal, I have two. I have my favorite is K2 and lapis lazuli, and I'm usually wearing my lapis lazuli necklace, and I will also wear my clear quartz.
To
like enhance that. But I was gonna ask you, do you have a favorite crystal that you find yourself that's the one that you always go back to?
Yeah, for me, it's my Lemurian crystal. But I mean, I've had crystals now since about 2000. And so it's about, at the time, my favorite crystal for a long time was my rose crystal ball, because I was working on my self-love. My self-love was quite low. So back in 2001, 2002, my self-love was low. So I was working with rose quartz all of the time, any kind of rose quartz. And when I felt that starting to get there, it's weird, because you kind of feel, I don't want that crystal now, I want that one. And then I was moving over to more of the yellow and orange ones when I was working on the confidence and the sexual power. And so you're drawn to the crystals. Like for that year in 2011, when I bought her, that I worked with her all the time. Whenever I felt vulnerable, whenever I felt lost, I was going through some changes, I would hold her. When I meditated, I slept with her next to my bed for weeks. And then after a while, you're just saying, I want you to go back on the windowsill now. And then you go in with something else. So we need to understand that if we're really linked with these crystals, we'll be drawn to the ones that are right for us in that moment. And that moment might last a month or a year, but then it'll be, right, so you don't want it now. But it's that you've aligned that part of you. The crystal's done its job.
Yes, and I can, what you're saying is 100% right, because even though I have a lot of them, there's certain times where I don't know, I don't even pay attention to some, and other times where I'm like, okay, I can put this one down and pick another one. And I can tell you, last year I had an experience with a shadow man, but it wasn't scary to me. But I told people, and people kind of make me scared, make me fear.
Yeah.
So I was drawn to my crystals that are like protective and that protect against negative energies, and that, so I will used to like put them under my pillow and sleep with them. And like right now I'm to the point that I'm over that. I don't need to have them.
That's the right thing to do. Hematite is particularly good. What's the other one? Labradorite. That's very good for protection. There's amber is very good for protection as well. I've got quite a lot of amber. And that's, you know, when people are jealous of you or, you know, coming at you psychically, negative energy. I was wearing a lot of amber 10 years ago or so. Haven't worn it for ages because obviously I don't feel attacked. But there are lots of different crystals that will come in towards aligning with you. I'm just looking at some of the comments. Expanding the Process is asking, do we know about elixirs and crystal teas? I don't know. No, I don't.
Have you ever put, because I heard people putting certain crystals in their water bottles and then drinking water from them, and like, I don't know. Have you ever tried that?
I haven't, no, but I don't see it.
neither.
As long as the crystal is clean, then I don't see any reason. Of all the crystals that I've washed, I wash all of my crystals about every 3 months, because just the way you dust and polish your ornaments and the worktops, you know, your crystals get dusty too because they're out, and that will spoil the energy. So they need to be cleansed and then charged. So when we, you know, do we know how to charge them? Does everybody know how to charge them? So shall we talk about charging them for a moment? Yeah. But just finishing that point, there was only one that kind of disintegrated in water, which was turquoise. And it was a very old turquoise and it crumbled. Now, if I put that in a drink and drank it, that could probably poison me. It wouldn't be a
I
very
don't think
good
that will be
idea.
safe enough. Yeah.
But at the same time, something like that, I know it's too big, but that's not going to break apart, and it has a lot of energy. And again, it's about the intention. If you believe that by putting it in water, that the water is absorbing its energy and you're drinking from it and you're gaining from it, then you are. But equally, I'd rather hold it and say to myself, I am drawing off the energy of this crystal into my hands, because let's not forget, we've got chakras in our hands. There's 2 very powerful chakras in our hands. Everybody talks about the 7 going down the center, but these
there's more, yeah.
It's the palm of your hand here. It's a very powerful chakra. That's where we're doing our healing. All right, our hands cup, our fingers come together, our hands cup, and we are creating a ball of energy there. And when we pull in the 2 together, do it now, everybody, right? I want you to just intend. Just focus and intend. Hold your hands apart, cup them up, fingers closed, so that the energy doesn't leak out between your hands, between your fingers, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to imagine, visualize that your chakras there are starting to beam out healing energy. And you're going to cup that energy and you're going to form a ball with it. And feel it growing. I can feel it tingling and warming up in my hands. Feel that growing. You can focus on Kundalini energy, spiritual energy, Reiki energy, your soul source energy. You're forming that ball. Got it? Now, where do you want to put it? And trust your instincts. You might want to put it here, over your head, into your third eye. You might want to put it into your heart or into your belly, into your solar plexus. Feel where you want to put it. If you've got a bad shoulder, like I have at the moment, you might want to put it there. This is where you're feeling it. So let's do that now. I dispersed mine by showing you what I was doing, so I'm going to make another one. And this is nothing to do with crystals. This is just your own energy. I feel that, all right, and then put it into you.
Put it back in my heart.
Now, that feels really good. Now, if we hold a crystal and we do it again, that's never happened before. I actually saw an energy, I think. Good. Wow. Yeah. See, we have this. If we hold a crystal in there now, that should strengthen it. We should have an even bigger flow of energy. We're also charging that crystal that we're holding through our chakras. That crystal now I could put under my pillow, I could put by my bed, and it's full of healing energy that I can draw off. Hi, Maris. Here we go. She knows about crystals. Natalie for depression, citrine or smoky citrine, sunstone, smoky quartz, rose quartz, amethyst. Good. All right, let's just talk about the difference in them. Citrine is yellow, orange color. It's like this, okay? And it's for the solar plexus, which is our center of confidence. And when we're depressed...
Citrine, right?
Yeah. Oh, actually, I don't know. Is it yellowy gold or is it brownie?
It's yellowy gold.
Okay, yeah, that's probably citrine. I'm not yet. Look at the book. That's why I like the book, because there's the pictures and you go, oh yeah, that's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah, that stone you were talking about earlier, that green stone.
No, that's actually not turquoise. Oh my gosh, I forgot what it looked like it, but it's I think Amazonite.
Yeah, see, they've got some very strange names, you know.
Yeah, some that you can't really pronounce sometimes.
Yeah, but anyway, what was I saying? I can't remember. What was the question? Oh yeah, depression. All right, our solar plexus in the belly is our center of happiness and joy. So when we're sad, our solar plexus is going to be closed, it's going to be low, it's going to be blocked. So we want to use, that's a perfect crystal, citrine or smoky citrine is going to open that chakra. The other reason that we're looking at quartz, rose quartz, is because, again, love, which the rose quartz is for the heart, but the rose quartz will help open up love into that sadness. And amethyst is purple. Now, the energy of purple is an anti-negativity color. So we've got anti-negativity, anti-fear, which is any kind of purple, and we've got antidepressant, which is yellow. When you put the two together, you are transmuting sadness. So the yellow is anti-sadness and the purple is anti-fear. Now we can use color, not just crystals here. So if I feel sad, I can wear a yellow jumper. I can wear a purple jumper. I could put a scarf around my neck of that color that I need. Do you see what I mean? You can use that, and they will align those energies through as well as the crystals. I think you should go and do a crystal course because I think you'd make an amazing crystal healer.
Yeah, I'm really drawn to them, and I'm really curious, and I have that itch, and I'm sure it's for a reason.
Yeah. Natalie's asking, does the person have to be aware of this for it to work? No, they don't. I've had crystal healing a few times and I go to sleep. I lie there and gone. You know, it's a bit like when you have a massage, you're like, yeah, gone. So you don't have to be aware of it, and the person doesn't even have to believe in it. It's not faith healing where you have to believe in it for it to work. People who have no knowledge of crystals will go, wow, I can really feel that when you put that stone on my head, I've gone all tingly, or I can feel that here. They can suddenly go tearful and feeling tears when you put in something here, because this is the chakra for the inner child, just above the heart. Okay, so when we're doing inner child work, we may want to put a crystal here. Okay, and it's right, what crystal do I feel I need for my inner child? Does she need love? Does she need to feel safe? If it's safe, she's going to want amethyst or any kind of purple crystal. If that she's needs love, then we're going to give her any form of pink crystal. Okay, if she feels anxious and she needs to be at peace, I might want to give some kind of green crystal. Do you see?
Yeah. One of my subscribers asked, here, let me go back up. Says, my best friend has major sleeping problems. He's either up every hour or sits up and sleeps. What crystal will be good? Thanks.
It would be good to get to the root of why a person isn't sleeping. It's usually stress related and anxiety. So it could be that he feels powerless, in which case we want a crystal that's going to focus on power, like smoky quartz. If he's feeling overwhelmed and pressured and feeling that he can't cope, then it might be a different crystal. This is where you'd use something like the Crystal Bible, or these days, Google it. You know, I mean,
exactly.
When I was into this, there was no Google. I was into this.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
You know, these days I would just Google best crystal for stress, best crystal for anxiety, and it'll give you the option.
Or to help sleep, yeah.
So I would say on that question, it would depend. Like, so with my daughter, she was having nightmares, which is fear. I gave her amethyst. But you know, if you're not sleeping, there is always a reason for it, because as a hypnotherapist, I do a lot of sleep work, and there is a reason why somebody isn't sleeping. And it's usually something negative, either something from the past, or they have got something going on at the moment, or that they did, and the brain has now been programmed not to sleep. They've lost their sleep pattern, and we can get the sleep pattern back, and crystals can help. But I would say, without saying, oh, well, this crystal or that, it's like find out why they're not sleeping, then look at what crystal.
To get to the root of the problem instead of just putting a Band-Aid, because
what a crystal healer will do, though, and this is what all the crystal healers that I know, and I've known many, they will get, like, you've got your different load of crystals there. They will get something like, hang on, okay, something like this, which is a dowsing crystal. Okay, it's a lovely piece of amethyst. Can you see that? Hang on, right.
There you go, yep. we can.
Right, so that's a dowsing crystal, and I used to dowse a lot. I don't need to anymore. I just ask my higher self and I get the answer. But a crystal healer will hold this over all of their crystals with that person in mind. So what does that person need for sleeping? And they would go over until they go, that one, right? That's what you need. Right, that's how a crystal healer will work. So they won't necessarily stick to the right colors for the chakras. They'll go, no, she needs more of that, less of that. And again, if the chakras are out of balance, if your crown is really open, you don't need more purple. You need something to say it's too open. It's too out of balance. That's too closed and that's too open. Our chakras really should all be the same size and as open as each other, which they rarely are. So you might want to put more emphasis on one than the other. So lots on one. I mean, I work with clients and I'll be like, everything down there is good. Your throat is not working at all, right? You're not speaking your truth. You're afraid to speak up. That's because you've had punishment in the past when you voiced an opinion, you're frightened to speak up. So what you need is turquoise or any light blue, any light green, but turquoise is the throat chakra. And I will give them, say, right, put crystals on. I'll get a scarf, buy a scarf, a turquoise scarf, wear that. Sleep on turquoise bedding, because we want this to open and balance and, come in crystal mat.
What I'm learning from talking to you is really that you need to learn how the colors interact with our body.
Yeah.
And really get to know them. And you can also integrate the colors with the crystals.
Yeah, but you don't need to do a colour course. When you're doing a crystal course, you can, but if you could do either, but if you were doing a crystal course, when they're talking to you about this, which is a yellowy gold, you begin to realise that this is to do with the solar plexus. The solar plexus is the centre of confidence and joy and trust. So this is the colour that goes with that. So I can then also bring that in with clothes or bedding, with soft furnishings.
That's very interesting.
Excuse me, I get some more water.
Oh, and that, I looked, that is jade.
Right, yeah.
I thought it was something else, but no, it's jade.
What else have I got in here? There's lots of different dowsing crystals as well. There's another one. These are all dusty, actually. I haven't washed these for ages. So this is a spinny one, and it's got a spring. It's got little.
Oh, I see.
There's a crystal at the top that you hold, and then there's this one. If I bring it back, you can see it a bit more. And it's also got amethyst on the top, and then the bottom is clear quartz. But these sorts of crystals, I've got loads of these.
How do you call those? You said dowsing?
Dowsing crystals.
I never
so dowsing, do you know what dowsing is?
No.
Okay. So dowsing is that you connect to this, and there's lots of them. I'll show you the sort of thing. This is a dowsing crystal as well. You see that you hold the top, so you're not holding the chain at all. There's lots of different forms and different ones and lots of crystals. It's like dowsing rods. This is quite a nice one as well. Okay. Yeah. So there's all sorts of different crystal dowsing ones. What's this? Oh, that one's broken.
So is it like a pendulum, or that, because that's different? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like the pendulum or the rods. So you're going to connect to it. Any crystal you're going to connect in the palm of your hand. This is the way I teach it anyway, when I used to teach all my classes. So you connect it into the palm of your hand and you. So I'm now connected to that crystal. I'm not, because I'm just demonstrating.
Right.
Yeah. Once it's connected, I then hold the top, not the chain, okay, because then I can't influence the chain. And I ask a question, and it will be, give me a yes, and it will.
Okay, yes.
Yeah.
Or the no will be the other side. Yeah. Okay.
That's the sort of thing.
I never heard that word dowsing before. So
okay, perhaps it's a British thing. Perhaps it's a UK thing. What do you call it in America then?
I just know it as pendulums. But that doesn't mean that there's not another word for them. I just know them like that. I see your doggy in the back.
Oh, is he? Hello, Oscar. You're right. He's still limping a little bit. You might have to end up going to the vet after all. Yeah, where you gone? Yeah, he's going in his bed. He's all right.
So I have a question. Do you think that in past lives, if you worked with crystals and stuff, would that mean that you'll be resonating with them in this lifetime?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we've had hundreds and thousands of lives sometimes, and some of those have been in other galaxies and universes. And if we go back to Atlantis and Lemuria, they were built on crystals. You know,
yes.
this we knew how to harness the power of crystals. You know, we look at Egypt and stuff as well. Ancient Egypt, there was crystals everywhere. So, you know, when I meditate, I very often meditate into a crystal pyramid. I visualize a crystal pyramid. When I'm grounding and I put my roots down into the earth, I will either ground to an old oak tree, but 9 times out of 10 for me, I'll ground to a crystal. And I feel the power and the energy and the source of it coming into me and feeding off it, as well as off Mother Earth, Gaia, and bringing that up and into me. But yeah, they're incredibly powerful. It's just, with crystals, you've got to feel your way. You know, if you want to be a crystal healer, you need to go and find out more about them. There are hundreds and thousands. You don't need to remember all of their name. A lot of them are from the same family, you know, and it's kind of right, well, which are the ones I feel drawn to, and why do, you know, this is where you start using your instinct rather than what it says in the book. If you lay your crystals out and say, which one do I feel drawn to work with today and why? And trust that, it will always serve you. It's always right.
Hi, Nis. She said that, hi, everyone. I'm listening. Can't chat, though. Much love to all.
Oh, bless. Hi, Nis.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really interested. And I think I'm at the point where I'm ready to look into more and see if I can take a course and stuff. And talking to you is lighting a fire, and I'm like, yes, let's do it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I have them all around me, and you know, I'm very aware of color and energy. This is where kind of feng shui comes in. I teach a bit of that as well, and flow. And you know, when we're looking at sort of putting crystals around the house, and there's something that you can do, you can actually create a crystal grid in your home, which is very, very powerful, similar to what you've got on your table there. Yeah. But I did this once where I put all the different colors of the chakras in a circle, different crystals in a circle, different colors. And then what I did was I created like a 6-pointed star then with clear quartz coming off it, or amethyst. Oh, I didn't know about that. Okay, sorry. Hang on. Similar to, they're all at the bottom. Similar to this sort of thing where we've got these coming up then off the north, the south, the east and the west. And you've got, then you go and put something like the channeling crystal in the center. And what you're doing is creating this grid of energy, very druids, very like druids, okay, Stonehenge and things like this. And it shoots the energy out. And I, when I move into a new house, I will usually do something like that with that table similar to that. I'll put it in the middle of the room. I'll create a grid.
That's so
and then
awesome.
I'm intending that grid. See, those crystals individually are powerful, but collectively, I'm putting them in the pattern of the grid. And then you feel the energy build towards the.
It amplifies the energy.
And it amplifies. And then I just visualize it shooting out across the room. And I'll leave it there for as long as I feel drawn to. One house, I left it there for 3 days. And then I moved it to the next room and the next room and the next room. And every room had been cleansed and balanced. But that was before I was a Reiki master. And so I haven't done that since, because I just go into a new house and I'll cleanse it with, you know, divine white light and Reiki. And actually, in the last 3 or 4 years, I don't even do that. I just intend it in my head instantly and say, this house is purified and cleansed, so be it, it is done. Whoosh.
Yeah. Wow.
You know.
That's great.
This is where you're not getting into your ego. You have to get into your power and absolutely believe it. Now, this is quite interesting, because your inner self, not your inner self and not your spiritual inner self, but I don't know which part of it is. We'll kind of go, oh, that's so arrogant. That's so, up your own backside, where you go kind of command it. And it is so, who the hell do you think you are, God? And you kind of go, well, I am God, goddess personified, and I am stepping into that goddess power and the angels and the pure essence of love and my creative ability to blast this property with pure white light and energy and love.
That's beautiful.
And it's what you intend it. So it's sometimes I'll say I need to heal this house. It feels hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing because we are so powerful and we don't realize it, And
as we step into our power, it frightens us. And this is a lot of the work that I do with so many clients. As I get them up to the point where they're starting to feel powerful, they start to panic. Am I going to, be? They do get scared. It's because we've been trained that power is corrupt and power is evil and bad people have power. And it's like I have to kind of reprogram them to say, no, the abuse of power is evil. The abuse of power is corrupt. But when you have power and you have an open heart and you have an open third eye, so you've got here open and here open, you're bringing them together with that power. You are delivering that power with compassion and care and love and responsibility, and you can do immense good with it. So embrace your power, but make sure your power is coming from a place of love and not from ego.
Yes, definitely. It not only helps you in that area, but it also helps you in other areas in your life. Like I always say, when somebody is being a bully to you, you have the option to allow them or to stop it. Yes. You're not up to their, you can put a stop to it. You're empowered to say, no, that's it. I allowed it till here, no more.
Yeah.
You are in charge of your own emotions. You are in charge of who it's easy to say, oh, I'm going to blame this person for, making me feel sad. Well, nobody can make you feel any way if you don't allow it.
No, but what they do is they can trigger stuff within you. So it's that, our unhealed pain is like a big open wound. And when somebody pokes it, we go, and so we're not choosing that reaction. That is an instant reaction based on our pain. So it's about taking responsibility for ourselves to heal that pain.
Right.
And then what happens is that when we get poked, we just kind of go,
okay.
Yeah. And it might leave a scar, but if you poke a scar, it doesn't hurt. And it's like, right, if we've got very big wounds, sometimes it does leave scars. I've got some scars, but you poke my scars and I don't react. So when you see somebody reacting, when you understand that it's because they're hurting and you just poke their wounds, then we can come at it with much more compassion rather than judgment.
Exactly. That's what I've been learning. Yes.
We won't always get it right. I don't always get it right because we're all, we're all so human. But it's the sooner that we can, if we do react, what do you think as soon as we feel
it's a habit, right? We're in a habit of reacting and being defensive.
Yeah.
And it's a way, I guess, a mechanism of protecting ourselves, I guess,
Yeah. But when you realize that your reaction is a choice and you realize that you don't have to react badly just because somebody else is treated you badly, that you have a choice at this point on what you do, so you can confront them and say, excuse me, don't speak to me like that. That's absolutely not okay. Or you can choose to let it go, but you're choosing not because you're frightened to say anything, because you're frightened of escalating it. It's all a choice. But when you're not healed, it's not a choice. I'm working with a client today who's had a lot of bullying in her time. And as soon as somebody starts giving her any kind of advice, opinions or anything, she takes it as a bullying. She takes it as somebody's having a go, even if they're not. That's because it's a poke in a wound. And so I'm working with her to heal that wound so that she begins to not react to that sort of thing. So this is where we're overreacting, really, but really we're not. We're just being poked.
Yes. Somebody earlier was asking about what do you think about moldavite? I forgot.
Moldavite, yeah, it's a protective crystal, moldavite. It comes from lava, I think, from the volcanoes, isn't it? Is that the one I'm thinking about, moldavite?
No, moldavite is it came from outer space and I forgot exactly.
Oh, I know, yeah, asteroids and stuff, yeah.
Yes, yes.
You know,
I have a little piece.
oh, that's lovely. What's wrong with that? Why would we not want a crystal just because it's not from this planet?
Oh no, I don't think that's what she meant. She was just asking, what's your opinion on it? Because I think she wears it every day.
Oh, okay. Well, I just think that all crystals are very personal to the wearer, to the person who's bought them, whether it's crystal jewelry or crystal ornaments or crystals. It's about saying that I feel drawn to this. So there's some part of me, I believe that crystals are to help us heal and be empowered, right? So, like I said, probably from about 2000 up until maybe 3 years ago, I had crystals around me all of the time. They were a very important part, and I meditated with them and touched them regularly, cleansed them regularly. And I actually look at them now as we're talking about crystals and realize that apart from the main four, I'm very neglectful of my crystals. So obviously I don't need them the way I used to. So maybe that I've either come into my own power now. The crystals have healed me enough and I can do it without them. Yes. Or maybe that, I don't know. Why don't I, right, let me just ask, wait a minute.
Okay, there you go.
I'm just asking why don't I need them anymore? Okay, so yeah, they were part of my healing journey and my development and my growth. It's a combination of all three. So some parts of me were about healing, some parts of me were about growing and expanding, and they've done what they need to do. And so this is why I felt less and less drawn to them. So I've got rid of over half of them, maybe 3/4 of them, given them, it's what I call a giveaway ceremony, because I used to do a lot of shamanic work, and the giveaway ceremony is when you just don't feel the love for something anymore. So you pass it on to somebody who will love it. You know, your time with it is done. That's why you're not feeling the love. And I think I gave away my crystal collection, my crystal ball collection, I gave to my best friend for Christmas. And she was like, what? And I'm like, because you are still very much in that energy. She's like, you could sell these and get a lot of money. And I said, yeah, but I know that you will benefit from them. So when you're ready, you do a giveaway as well. And what goes around comes around. So, you know.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. And I wanted to tell, I forgot who asked about the moldavite, and I'm curious to know if you have any experience like that. The first time I bought and I wore the moldavite, because it's a necklace.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the energy of the crystal was too much, but I felt like super hyper and like to the point where like if I had too much caffeine, kind of.
Yeah. Too much.
So, I don't know. I heard people say that maybe you need to wear it just like an hour at a time so your energy can mix well with it, so it can get used to it instead of just using it for hours. But I didn't know. So
yes. They are powerful, and when we're not aligned with it, it can knock us off kilter, it can knock us off balance.
Yeah.
So it's about feeling your own energy and saying, is this right for me? I mean, these are powerful. I use them when I'm working. So I'm holding these for about 30 to 40 minutes at a time. When I'm doing a session, a hypnotherapy session, I'll hold them on meditation and I'll put it down. But if I was to wear that, I'd be flying high. I'd be stoned, you know. So it's like, no, it's not. It's too powerful to wear. I know it's too big to wear, but you know, it's kind of saying, look, sometimes they are to be meditated with, that you would just hold it for as long as it feels right. Put it in your pocket, right? Rather than wear it, put it in your pocket. And when you start to feel your energy a little bit wobbly, take it out your pocket, put it down. And I do know what you mean, because when I used to work these mind, body, spirit fairs back in 2001, 2, 3, and 4, and you're in a room that is maybe 150 feet by 80 feet, you know, kind of long, and there is maybe 200 stalls in there selling crystal, Indian drums and jewelry and readers and healers. And the energy gets higher and higher and higher and higher. And I'm doing readings and I'm connected. and after about 2 hours, I have to go outside. I start to feel spaced. I get a headache. I start to feel sick. I'm drinking water like, I go outside and I have to stomp about, literally stamp my feet onto the ground. I'm grounded, grounded, grounded. Start thinking about the bills, start thinking about the school play my kids have got to go to, anything that's going to re-ground me.
Bring you back.
Bring me back, and then I can go back in and do another 2 hours and I come back out. Now, I found that after 3 or 4 years of working the shows, they didn't bother me anymore. So somehow my energy had got used to it, or it got higher enough to be able to cope with the vibration. But it's always going with the flow of what feels right for you. Don't sit there getting space. Don't sit there again feeling too heavy. Some of these are grounding crystals, and they're meant to ground you, meant to make you feel heavy. But that's just to bring you back down. So, like with drugs, like prescription drugs, you've got ones that lift you and ones that bring you down, and ones
uppers and downers.
Yeah, but the crystals are a bit the same. So some bring you up and some ground you down. They ground you because you're too high and spacey, and too much in your head, analytical. So they're groundy ones, and others are more coming into alignment with heart. This is where you just realize it's huge. It's like astrology. The more you delve into it, the deeper you realize it goes.
Yeah. And I just want to tell people not to get discouraged if they try, or they have a crystal and they've been either wearing it or putting it in their pocket. Don't get discouraged like, oh my gosh, I didn't like the way this crystal made me feel and I'm never going to wear it or use it again. Don't get discouraged, because I kind of went through that, because I was like, what is this? This is not, like, I'm not feeling myself. But like I said, like you were explaining, Julie, it takes, a little bit for your energy to get used to that crystal energy. And one more point that I want to mention is that I've been learning from the book that the crystals not only help you with your with spiritual stuff, but it also helps you with your body. Like I use some crystals for headaches. When I get migraines, I just rub it on my head. Or I had my gallbladder removed in 2014, but sometimes I do get pains from it. And one day I was like, I was so desperate. I didn't know what else to do, and I didn't want to take any meds. So I just started rubbing a crystal that it was good for gastro problems. And like every time I'm shocked because they work. So, and there's also, I think it's selenite. It's good for breastfeeding. So if you're breastfeeding, it's good to have around. So there's so much more that there is into the crystals, not only.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could literally type into Google or look it up in the book. Any symptom, best crystal for not sleeping, best crystal for menopause, best crystal for feeling angry. There's a crystal to help neutralize anger and different emotions. There's crystals for every illness. And you basically feel, does that feel right for you? And if it does, crystals come in tiny weeny ones like that might cost 50p, which is about 70 cents, right? Up to something like that, which is about $400. And they will actually, you can get crystals. I've seen some crystals be as much as £20,000, about $35,000, and these are huge. Natural. I can't think what they're called. They're in what are they called? It's like a cave thing they're in. There is a name. I can't believe how much I've forgotten. It's frightening because I used to know all this stuff. But it's, again, if you're not using something,
like everything, you forget it.
You forget it.
You don't practice, it goes away.
Indigo's saying they were part of her healing journey as well. So was the flower of life. I used to put it all over. Okay, there's flower essence that you spray. There's angel spray. There's different stuff that you can spray around, crystal essences and stuff, and that can. That's going into your energy field, your auric field. You can spray different crystals into you. That's best crystal to manifest. Interesting. Okay, because manifesting is us stepping into our creative force. So for me, I mean, I'll always go with my two, my Lemurian quartz and my channeling quartz. But It's about feeling it for you. Where is your creative power? Our creativity comes from the sacral chakra, which is orange. So actually, any kind of orange crystal, any kind of orange colored crystal like that would probably be quite good for manifesting. Also coming from the crown and the third eye. So I feel as well lapis lazuli, which is the third eye, any kind of deep blue, but lapis is the best one for third eye. Yeah. And then amethyst or any form of purple, violet for the crown is going to open your crown where you're connecting then to the universe to manifest. But actually, you see, manifesting comes from your thoughts. And what you think about, you bring about. So, you know, as you direct and focus those thoughts, you are setting into motion the law of attraction and manifestation. So for me, when I'm manifesting, I want my thoughts to be as clear as possible, not muddy, not woolly, not foggy, because if I don't know what they are, how the hell's the universe supposed to know what they are? So I would go with a crystal for clarity, for clear thinking, for communication, for myself, because I have that connection already there. So it's feeling it. There's no right or wrong answer on this. It's saying what feels right for you. Okay?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think we are an hour and 12 minutes. And so if there's anything you want to share with us, Julie?
Other than I'm changing my channel at the moment, so it's quite important for people watching me, because I started a new channel yesterday. I've decided to split my spiritual from my hypnotherapy, and my hypnotherapy is sort of self-development, self-growth, self-improvement, how to lose weight, how to all sorts of things, lots of stuff on abuse and lots of stuff on being the best version of you. But my channel has grown so much over the last 3 months, and it's growing 80% down the road of spiritual. It's time to split it. So at the moment, I opened the new channel yesterday, and I'm going to leave it for about a week, and then I'm going to be taking off from this channel all of the blue ones are the therapy ones. They'll be gone. So if you're not interested in them, that's absolutely fine. But what I found is that the people on my channel are interested in some of these personal development stuff and healing things, but a lot of people who are wanting the self-development are not necessarily interested in the spiritual. So it is time to split it, you know.
I think that was a great idea for you to do that.
So if you're interested in it, you need to subscribe, otherwise you won't be able to access it. So
what's the name of the new channel?
It's Julie Poole Hypnotherapy, and I put the link on all of my videos. The link is there now.
I'm gonna copy that link and put it on this video so people can have an option to go there.
Thank you. But yeah, I mean, I've got videos on there for childhood sexual abuse, and a lot of people who've been abused are actually quite spiritual, and they're interested. But there's a lot of people who are not, and they go on my channel to see their, you know, the childhood abuse video, and they'll see my weekly messages and angel messages, and they'll go, I'm out.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be separate. So that's important.
I think also you will be able to reach more people like that too.
I think so. I think it, you know, I didn't expect the spiritual to take off on YouTube the way it has, and it has. And it doesn't put the spiritual people off, but it does put the non-spiritual people off. Yeah. So I'm splitting it up. And also to let you know that I discovered in all of my recent training myself to be able to meet your needs, I have discovered how to record my readings and how to record my hypnotherapy sessions if people would like them recorded and emailed to them on Dropbox. So just to let you know, you can have it recorded, which I haven't been able to do before because I didn't know how to do it. And I do now.
I think that's great because I had readings or sessions with you and with other people. And I think, you know, you get so much information at the time that you're so excited, and that later you're trying to remember everything and you miss some spots here and there. So I think recording it will be a great thing for people to go back and look.
I've been doing readings for years, and I always used to record them on a tape. People would come to me and I'd put it on a cassette tape. And then as we progressed through time and people started getting digital phones, I would record it on, well, I was recording on CD and giving them a
Oh,
copy of the CD. And then when we got to smartphones, people recording it on their phones. But now these days, when I'm doing readings, they're having the reading on the phone and they can't figure out how to record it.
right.
So basically, I can use what we're using now, which is my OBS. I can record the
Perfect.
reading and then I can save it and then send it to them on an email attachment, which is lovely. And I've also, well, I didn't decide because let's give upstairs I don't know if it's credit or not, but you know, I've had an offer on of my readings 40% off just till like the end of
No,
January.
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, well, my readings were £100 an hour or £50 a half an hour, and my higher self told me to reduce them on offer for 12 days, so I did, so I could reach more
That's
people.
great.
Well,
Yeah.
the 12 days is up, and they've, I was going to go put the prices back, and I've been told by my higher self to leave it as it is. So I think, to be fair, it's a lot of work to put all the prices back as they were. So I just thought, fine, okay, that's what you want me to do. So they're going to stay as they are. So it's £60 an hour, but you can have half an hour, you can have 15 minutes, you can have 45 minutes. So 15-minute blocks, £15, which is about $20 for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
And you put it as long as you want, and you can have it recorded. So that's all my information, really.
yes. And I recommend Julie 100%. Like I said, I had a few sessions with her and she had helped me greatly. And yeah, she's great. I love you, Julie. Thank you so much for everything that you do, for tapping into your heart and really helping people that are needing that help.
It's my pleasure. Yeah,
yes.
it's my pleasure. Thank you for having me. We'll have to do this again and pick a different subject. We'll talk about something else.
Yes, I was thinking maybe to do something like a round table with Niz, Ransom, and you and I. It will be interesting to see. Yeah. Okay, well, thank you everyone for being here on the chat. It's lovely to see everyone and feel the love and the support from you guys. So we'll see you guys next time. And Julie, I'm gonna end the live stream, but then we're gonna talk for a minute before.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Lots of
Have
love.
a good weekend. Bye.